Barcelona, where police have shot dead a man who tried to attack officers with a knife at a police station. The incident is being treated as terrorism. It happened outside within the compound of a police station in the west of the city earlier on Monday. No other injuries have been reported. The man was a 29-year-old of Algerian origin who shouted "God is greatest" in Arabic as he launched his attack. On Friday, Spain marked 1 year since a terrorist drove a van into pedestrians in a crowded Barcelona street, killing 13.
I saw many people running. I saw the covered bodies of kids lying in the street. This is a tragedy.
We saw an avalanche of people running in every direction. It was total chaos. We had no idea what was going on. I didn't see the van. I just heard a boom, boom, boom sound and people screaming.
Well, let's get more insight now from Chris Phillips. Chris is the former head of Britain's National Counter-Terrorism Security Office and is always welcome on the programme. Hi, Chris. Chris, just about the description of the incident, what is it about the knife attack that leads police to consider it a terror attack as opposed to an assault against officers?
Well, I think quite simply the God is greatest shout is going to give them a big clue in that. And of course, it is almost exactly 12 months ago since we saw the attacks in Barcelona. So they would have been on a bit of an alert time. It's often when you have periods like this where you've had incidents, anniversaries are quite important. So I can quite understand why they would consider this a terrorist attack. And it just goes to show just the sheer issue that the police forces around the continent have got dealing with individuals like this, perhaps. And of course, on top of that, they've got the issue with groups of people that may be still at large.
Yeah, that summer last year just was horrific, wasn't it? Do you think that the attack was timed to coincide with the first anniversary of that, in which 13 pedestrians died and a lot more could have?
Yeah, well, that's often the case, that anniversaries are very important to terrorists. It seems to spur them on to do other things as well. And I think what we're seeing here is copycatting. This is a clear copycat from other attacks that have taken place. Probably it'll turn out that this guy has got no training. He's just a bit of an extremist, maybe a bit of violent past, and decides to go out in a way that's going to kill a poor innocent police officer. Luckily, they were able to deal with him very quickly. I think we've got to remember, though, that this is really, we've got away with another terrorist attack here. The last year, 12 months ago, that Barcelona attack was supposed to be 3 big vehicle bombs, which would have been absolutely devastating and would have killed potentially hundreds of people, rather than what we ended up with, which was an individual driving a car down through Les Rambles.
Yeah,
so again, we've had another lucky escape really here.
Well, Chris, when you're talking about Barcelona, it's one of the biggest tourist hotspots on the planet, especially during summer. There was already a lot of police on the streets. How much more on alert are security services during, I suppose, somber anniversaries of terror atrocities, a time when feelings are heightened?
Yeah, it's always the case that whether it's anniversaries, often it's during Ramadan that attacks take place, and you get bigger groupings of attacks, more killing, if you like. So I think these things are all taken into account. But of course, when you're the police officer that suddenly gets confronted by an individual with a knife for no particular reason who comes at you, it's a really difficult thing to deal with. But I say again, this is another lucky escape that we've had from a terrorist attack, similar to what we had in London last week. Whether that's terrorism or not, it was a bit lucky that the guy didn't do a very good job of what he was trying to attempt to do.
How do you view the situation in Europe as a whole? There's a lot more security put in place, it seems. Is there more to do? Is there anything that can be done when somebody has it in their mind that they're going to stage a terror attack like this?
Well, there's not much you can do with an individual like this who just out of the blue decides, decides to commit a fairly low-level terrorist attack. There's nothing you can do other than deal with the threat as it happens. What you can deal with is the groups, the more scary people, really, who are linked up in groups of people with guns and bombs, making bombs, and with an idea to kill hundreds of people, as we saw in Paris with the Bataclan.
Are you hopeful that enough is being done on that, particularly, just briefly?
Well, yes, the security services across Europe are getting better, thank goodness.
OK. Chris Phillips, thanks for coming on the programme once again. Always good to get your take, former head of Britain's National Counter-Terrorism Security Office.